Hello and welcome to today's Grace's Dreams workshop. In today's workshop we are going to create Mother's Day cards. I'm going to show you how to create one like this. And I'm going to show you how to create another one like this. So for today's workshop you will need the vase printout, which you can ask your play specialist for, 3 pieces of A4 paper, 1 glue, 1 scissors, and loads of colouring pens. So while we're waiting for your play specialist to get that, we are going to start with a story. And today's story is Annie, the Apple Pie Fairy. Annie, the Apple Pie Fairy. Once in a wood, by a bubbling brook, up high in an old apple tree, lived a fairy named Annie, a famous cook who baked apple pies on TV. She had her own shows for years and years with her best friends Pip and Cora. Every show ended with whoops and cheers. The fairy simply adored her. All Annie's pies were made with care, simply and with nothing wasted. Whether with currants or berries and pears, they were the best you've ever tasted. Then one day the TV screens turned a little glary. In a blaze of colour, a new face appeared. Sondra, the Strudel Fairy. Sondra's style was fancy. Her pies were never plain. The fairy switched to Sondra's show time and time again. Pip declared, "Chef Sondra will beat us if we let her, so we must do what Sondra does, but do it much, much better." "Sondra thinks that she's the tops," said Cora with a frown. "We'll have to pull out all the stops to win back your baking crown." And so between the TV chefs, there arose a competition to make fancy bakes and be the best, became each fairy's mission. Every pie the rival made was fabulous fashioned, with toppings and twirls so high they swayed, decoration was never rationed. Inside Annie's and Sondra's home, the sound you always heard was the clatter and clunk of gadgets, which became ever more absurd. They had machines for cutting, slicing, peeling, dicing, flaking, shaking, beating and breaking, rolling, moulding, chopping, folding, whipping, mixing, brushing and fixing. Look at all of their machines. Soon every fairy across the land was following Sondra's trend. Bigger, better, never bland, wherever would it end? The machines made every kind of thing in every shape and size, but nobody seemed to notice. Not one made apple pies. But still the gadgets pinged and popped with whirls and pearls and clangs until the night when everything stopped with a flash and deafening bang. The fairies had a big surprise. Their power had totally blown. Feeling scared, they took to the skies and flocked to Annie's tree home. Pip found candles to light the scene and slippers to warm their feet. But with nothing to power their cooking machines, what would the poor fairies eat? Cora peered inside the pantry. Annie joined her in despair. As far as either one could see, there was next to nothing there, just apples and butter and sugar and flour. Annie sighed and said to Sondra, "I think things got out of hand. We forgot what matters in the end. We just didn't understand." Now I know what we should do. We must bake an apple pie. We'll add a spoonful of loving, the ingredient money can't buy. The pie was made the old-fashioned way, tasting sweet just as it should. Sandra said, let's not compete, and apple pie was back for good. Annie and Sandra worked together and saw their friendships grow as they started with Pip and Cora on their brand new TV show. And that's the end of this one. I hope you enjoyed Annie's The Apple Pie Fairy today. Okay, first of all, you need to get your vase printout and fold it in half like a book. And once you've done that, put it to the side and then get one of your A4 pieces of paper and draw around your hand. Like that, and this bit can be really tiggly. And you can get someone to help you do this because sometimes it can be a bit difficult. So I've drawn around one hand and I'm going to do the exact same thing again on this side. Draw around my hand. And then I'm going to get another A4 piece of paper and I'm going to do the same thing. Now you can do this 3 or 4 times depending on how many hand flowers that you want for your vase. So I am going to do it 3 times. And once you have done that 3 times, you can cut them out and give them some colour. So once you've given them some colour, like this, magic. Now it is time to colour in your vase. So now, once you have coloured in your vase, the next part to do is get another piece of paper, get your scissors and cut 2 strips of paper. Fold these in half like that and then cut, and then again, and cut. And also with your paper, if you want, you don't have to do this, you can cut some shapes of leaves. So we can put some leaves on some. Little teardrop shapes, just to make little shapes of leaves to give it a little bit more decoration. There we go. So we have some shapes of leaves. Now once you've done this, it's time to stick our green stems onto our hand flowers. So we get our glue and then just stick like that. And then again, we'll get some more glue for our next one and then just stick like that. And our hand flowers are coming on along very nicely. Then my last one, a little bit on the end and then just stick like that. So there we have it, we have our hand flowers. Okay, and once you have done that, then it is time to make a little hole in the top of the vase. So you're going to cut a little hole here. So now we have a hole for our stems to go through. So I'm going to put one here, two, open up your hole, put through, and then three. And once I've done that, I'm going to open it up very gently, and then where I have positioned my stems, I'm going to put some glue on, just to glue them down on the other side so they don't fall out. So you might need to put quite a bit of glue on here just so they don't fall out. Loads of glue. Okay, now I have glued it on both sides. I'm going to add some of my leaves, which are optional. There we go. There we go, and I've added some of my leaves. And there we have it, our hand flower Mother's Day card. And now all there's to do is for you to write a nice note for your mum. Well done, everyone. Okay, for our second card, we need one A4 piece of paper, and we are going to fold it in half down the middle like a book. And now this one, we need to make sure we get our fingers in the correct space. So you need to get your thumb to the side and your other finger to the side. So we're going to be doing our hands like diagonally. So our fingers meet the side where the folded side is. So this is the folded side. You can open it up, and that's the folded side. So I'm going to put my hand down and I'm going to draw around it like this. And there we go. I'm going to add it together. So both of my fingers are at the side, and then we are going to cut. But when we cut, we are going to be very careful. We're going to cut with both fingers in half, like that. So we're cutting both sides at the same time, but we're not going to cut where the thumb meets here and the finger meets here. So they are still attached together. Let's cut out my hand. Now please get an adult to help with this bit, because it can be quite fiddly. And then this part, we're going to cut out between the fingers, but leaving this part and this finger still attached to the folded side. Like that. And then when you open it up, you have your card, which is attached together, and you can write a lovely note inside and do some nice decorations outside.
And there we have it, our hand card. And if you look at the fingers, they go into a heart. Well done, everyone.